Okay, so while we wait for Hope, I'm going to go to our second speaker, Miss Natasha Umansa, who is a child and women's rights advocate, and she's going to speak on the theme She is Equal. Over to you, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Natasha Umansa.
Thank you so much. It is such an honor and a privilege to be on this platform today, and I really enjoyed that. That was really, really motivational and inspiring how you found your voice. And again, I'd like to thank Mama Graca, Machel, and everyone else that has organized this. It is such an honor and a privilege to truly be here and just to speak on the theme of She is Equal. It is a very interesting theme because we're talking about she in the context of a girl, and we're commemorating the International Day of the Girl Child. And I'm just also going to give a backstory. I remember when I was about 15 years old, I was setting up something at church, and I was doing stuff and I was trying to lift something really heavy. And so this man looks at me and says, "You're so girly." And I felt so insulted and I wondered why. And I defended myself. I literally looked at him and said, "No, I am not girly. I am manly." I literally used those words. A 15-year-old girl refusing to identify as girly. And I wondered, why did it feel like such an insult to be called a girl? And I realized that we're living in a world today where it feels as though being a girl is, not the right thing to be. It feels like a disadvantage. And I took a hold of that opportunity and said, you know what? I'll embrace being a girl. I'll embrace it because it is what I am. And I will not look at it as a weakness. I'll not look at it as anything that will pull me down. If I cannot lift something, I will not lift it. I will handle what I can. But eventually, I will not look at girly as being an insult. And I don't think he was trying to even insult me in that moment. And this got me thinking about what it means for her to be equal. We live in a world where today girls are told to be so many different things by society, by friends, by parents. They're raised to be women at a young age even. But then what girls really, really need to actually be equal is just to simply be girls. And this is where I'm going to head my conversation. We need to set a threshold. What exactly does it mean for her to be equal? What is she trying to be equal with? And my simple answer to that question is her potential. And the only way that we can help girls realize this potential is, in 5 different ways. I would like to summarize it in 5 different ways. Firstly, let's inform girls that they are capable and they are powerful, that there is nothing more powerful than being a girl, that being a girl is a superpower on its own, and they don't need society or anyone else to put them down on that. And it is inspiring to have stories such as what Mama Graca Machel has done, for instance. Just like what Aya has said, even her story is inspirational. Let's tell these girls these legendary stories of how exactly they can come out of their shell and embrace being a girl and actually be that girl that they need to be. And when we give them that information, we expose them to the limits and the abilities that they actually have, and we let them know that nothing can stop them from being who they want to be, even as a girl. And that's what we need to drive and take it home. Secondly, let's invest in these girls. We wouldn't have Natasha Umansa, for instance, being on this platform if people didn't invest in me, if they didn't invest in my abilities, in my education, in my skills, in what I was capable of doing. And we need to give equal opportunities for every other girl out there to be able to be invested in without anything stopping her, and for her to thrive as well. So this is something that we need to look into. Let's look at the education system, for instance. And I know we know what exactly is supposed to be invested in, but then we can't have this conversation without talking about prioritizing girls' needs. Look at the budgetary aspect of nations, for instance. How much is allocated towards investing and improving the lives of girls? Even if we keep talking about them being vulnerable, how much are we actually putting on the table and saying, you know what, I am investing this much money to ensure that girls have access to education in this place? So this is something we need to start bringing home. Another thing is we need to involve and include them. And girls need to be at the center of every conversation. They are part of everything. It involves them. We cannot do anything for girls without them. And this is why I love such intergenerational dialogues, because we're bringing girls into the conversation. I am not a girl anymore. I am 19. I haven't been a girl for months now. But then we have girls who will be coming to tell us their stories. And when we listen to them and we collaborate and use our experiences as well and come together, we bring home a solution. And that's what we need to start driving at. And let's include them. Let's not exclude anyone that may, seem as though they may not be capable of, doing certain things. That's why we need to invest in them and allow them to actually come on the platform and tell them what exactly, tell us what exactly they need done. And we can also tell them how exactly we can help, and we can come to a conclusion. And then let's impart, just like it's been mentioned by Aya. She's pleaded it. I plead this as well. It is important that we have intergenerational dialogues, yes, but let's go beyond and have intergenerational mentorship. We need to be taught. We need those lessons. We need those skills. We need those abilities. We need to know how exactly did they do it, because we see all these heroines, but sometimes sometimes we are so lost. We want what they have, but then we don't know how to get there. And this is why we need them to mentor us and teach us. And then finally, let's investigate. How far have we come? What's the data on the ground? What exactly remains to be done? And how exactly can we use this and map a way to actually strategize and ensure that we have this done? In conclusion, I would just like to quote something from the 2063 agenda of the African Union. It talks about how, there should be equal opportunities for women to actually flourish politically, socially, and in different other aspects. But then if we think about it, women today were girls yesterday. And if we do not start with what we are planting, if we don't start with the seed, we will not do much with the fruit. And hence we need to target girls now and ensure that we do not lose them while they're young. We do not lose them where they are right now, that we invest, we involve, that we include, that we impart, and that we investigate. And we do so much more as well as inform them of just how much they are capable of doing. And this is where we bring them to being equal. The threshold is not men. The threshold is not even other women. The threshold is what girls can do as girls and the opportunities that they need to flourish as girls. So thank you once again. I look forward to having more of these conversations today and hearing from all the wonderful girls as well as all their wonderful speakers. So it is such an honor to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Natasha, for that powerful presentation. Just like Aya, one thing that resonated from both of you's conversation, just to reiterate quickly, is the need for an intergenerational platform, as well as accountability. And also, there needs to be an investment in girls' education, skills, equal opportunities, and girls need to be at the center of these conversations. Again, nothing about us without us. That takes me to one of the highlights of this intergenerational dialogue, which we would hear from girls across the African continent, the 5 regions of Africa. I would suggest this girls get ready. Doreen, Bindu, Blessing, Puseletso, Gloria, Esther, and Arula. That will be the first session. Why they get ready is Hope ready? Hope, are you ready for your poem? Okay, so now at least I can hear you. So again, Hope is a 9-year-old from Kenya, and she will be entertaining us with a poem titled Paternity. Go ahead, Hope. I'm not sure if it's just me, but I'm not sure. Yes, we can't. Hope, we cannot hear what you're saying. I thought it was just from my end, but I realized that the panelists and the participants cannot hear what you're saying. So again, would give you time to sort out any technical issues. I'll move to the presentations by the girls. So they will be talking about their reality on the African continent. So again, we're going to hear from the girls themselves and not from any other person. So the first person is Doreen, and she is from Kenya. Her topic would be on girls' education in relation to pregnancy. Doreen, over to you.
It's a pleasure celebrating the international. Should I wait?
Hope, can you please mute your? Okay, yeah, go ahead. It's fine now.
Oh, it's a pleasure celebrating the International Day of the Girl Child. Before I begin, I'd like you all to imagine a boat in the ocean. Ahead of it, coming storm and raging waves. Well, many are times when you are faced by challenges which you must conquer, and COVID-19 pandemic is no exemption. On the bright side, it gave us a chance to bond with our families, learn from them, and help them in house duties. But what if it took more than it gave? With its arrival, the schools are declared closed. Many girls depended on the schools for sanitary towels. When the institution closed, was this help still available? Well, only to a few, but the majority had to come up with solutions. And what did they land on? One, transitional sex and looking for jobs to at least meet their basic needs. In my opinion, if we taught the girls that they do not have to engage in demeaning activities just to keep their lives moving, it would be much better. It's almost obvious that help won't always be there for us, but there are other solutions. Example, like we could teach them skills of making their alternative homemade sanitary towels. This would save them the trouble and uphold their dignity as girls. Still, schools is where girls received guidance and counseling on the challenges they face in life. But with the institution closed, it left them to deal with life out there for themselves. Second, with the COVID-19 lockdown, teenage pregnancies rose drastically. One, it's because girls were being taken advantage of, and to some extent, idleness at home. What is the aftermath of these pregnancies? One, a good number, 98%, is going to drop out of school, leading to crashing of well-founded and developed dreams, amazing potential of growth to our countries going down the drain. Second, it leads to stigma and rejection of the girls by the community around her. This can lead to hasty decisions of abortion. This is because after facing all the rejection and discrimination, they associate pain and difficulty to the unborn child, which may lead her to the extent of doing anything to get rid of the burden. I believe that abstinence is the best remedy, even though circumstances can force a girl to engage in sexual activities. I know they can still stand up for themselves and say no. It goes with no doubt that where there's a will, there's always a way. And for them to stand up for themselves, they need support. They cannot make it to the top without help. Still, with the COVID-19 lockdown, it left the people to go back to their homes. This increased gender-based violence, which is caused by alcohol consumption, increase in stress, which may be a cause of loss in jobs. And when the parents are stressed, it will lead to them letting out the stress on their families, affecting their children, especially the girl child, and they will feel so demeaned. They will feel at the lowest point in their lives. What will be my advice to the girls out there? They should be strong. This is just for a moment. They can still make it to the top. They should not let circumstances define them. They should pursue the ambition that they have. And to all the adults out there, they should show child love and care, not turning a cold heart to them, for the future of the girls determines theirs. Thanks so much for your interest and attention.
Thank you so much, Doreen, for your words. We do indeed hear you in terms of girls staying strong and do not letting the circumstances, regardless of having teenage pregnancies, define them. And to everyone who's listening, to parents and the communities, leaders, to show children love and care, not to stigmatize girls who are pregnant, because it might end up leading to abortion or making them drop out. Thank you so much, Bindu, for that. That takes us, Doreen, sorry. That takes us to Doreen, who is from DRC, and she'll be telling us the challenges on teenage pregnancies. Over to you, Doreen. Doreen?
Yeah?
Okay,
Pardon.
please go ahead.
Pardon.
Doreen?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. And then Bindu? Is Bindu here now? Bindu, est-ce que tu nous écoutes? Est-ce que tu es là?
Oui, oui, je suis là.
Ok, parlez, ça va, c'est ta turn. Can everybody hear Bindu?
No.
No, okay. So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's technical issues. So I'm going to go to Blessing. Blessing from Nigeria. We'll be talking about girls' education in relation to gender-based violence. So Blessing, over to you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Blessing, we can hear you.
Okay. I'll be talking about girls' education and COVID-19. That is how COVID-19 has affected girls' education. First of all, we know that millions of girls and young women miss out on school despite the benefits of girls' education in the society at large. Education and girls' literacy has a huge benefit, such as increasing economic wealth and income of countries. It improves health, increased technology advancement, and also helps the population. So, during this pandemic, all the causes of girls' illiteracy were amplified. We had issues like school closure. In the course of the pandemic, all schools were shut down, not only in West Africa, but globally. Schools like mine were not even able to finish second term session before we were asked to leave the school due to the outbreak of COVID-19. And we also had issues like lack of access to learning platform. Most schools, especially private schools, had platform for learning at home. So they had the opportunity to continue their education online. And statistics shows that most girls are admitted into public school than private school. So what about these girls who are in public school? They didn't have the opportunity to all these learning platforms for holiday lessons to continue their education. So maybe when they go back to school, they'll just. But someone like me, like for me now, for instance, I only had the opportunity to attend only one lesson. That was only literature, just because our teacher just had us in mind and said that okay, he want us to continue the lesson at home. But it was not our school who had it in mind. What about the people who nobody even had them in mind? They were not even able to attend any class. So we also had increase sexual abuse. Like,
Okay, so we lost Blessing. Unfortunately, hopefully.
I'm back.
Okay, you're back. Okay.
Yeah. So we also had cases like low number of students who has access to smartphones and internet. For the people living in the rural area, you can hardly see people, you can hardly find people who had smartphones among them. Talk less of internet to be involved in the in online internet lessons. And we had issues like early marriages. Early marriages due to the fact that because of this COVID-19, people lost their jobs, like parents lost their jobs. So they find the situation like they'll marry up their girl child and use the money and take care of the family and fend for themselves while the girl child will be married else to another person. Teenage pregnancies increased because they were sexually exploited and forced to turn to risky strategies to feed themselves and their family. Poverty increases due to the fact that most people lost their jobs during the pandemic outbreak. Just like I say, early marriages also increased too. All girls who were under these circumstances that I mentioned, when the school resumed, they won't be able to go back to school, just like what
again?
They'll be facing stigma. They won't be should make she's be able to attend any school. And
sorry, I'm trying to cut you off because your network is so bad. So do you want to tell us your recommendation? At least we are able to catch it.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you, but just make it brief.
Okay.
Just tell us your recommendation.
The recommendation that I have, like government should make school more affordable. Like this will enable girls, no matter her class, no matter her financial status, to attend the schools. And they should also make school safe and closer. The government and relevant stakeholders should work on providing security and buildings closer to their communities. So wherever they are in the community, they can be able to attend the school. And also, they should make a free holiday program, most especially for the girls. Young girls should be equipped with skills and knowledge to enhance their capability of learning during the holidays. And we should also encourage the girls and the society as large, should also encourage, empower, and support girls as individuals, community, and world at large. Because if we do all this, there is a huge impact on girls' education on the society. Girls' education reduces child marriage. It is better for the environment because when we have more educated girls, when they reach the age of marriage and they get married, they will know the amount of children they will have concerning their financial status, the one they know, yes, they can take care of. But the illiterate ones, they just give birth regardless of what they have. And we should make, and girls' education encourages political leadership. So we know have our political stance in everything.
Okay.
And
Thank you
make
so
sure.
much. I'm sorry,
you.
we're out of time.
Thank you.
So sorry that I
I'm
cut you
done
short.
already.
Please feel free
No,
to.
I'm done already.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. Is Bindu here now? Bindu from DRC. Okay, so that takes me to Puseletso. Puseletso from South Africa will be talking about gender-based violence. Puseletso, over to you.
Good day, everyone. Just as my fellow colleagues have mentioned that there's different problems of gender-based violence in their countries as well. And in South Africa, gender-based violence is such a profound and a widespread problem, which is impacting each and every girl child's life in South Africa. Gender-based violence in South Africa, it is systematic and it is entrenched in institutions, cultures, and as well as traditions in South Africa. Violence against girls has become a common thing, and in each and every day, there is a case of violence against the girl child free from gender-based violence. South Africa is actually one of the countries with the highest levels of gender-based violence. More than half girls are murdered in South Africa are not murdered by people that they don't know, but they are murdered by people which are either their dads or even their intimate partners, as I can say. And between 25% and also 40% of South African girls have experienced either sexual or physical violence in their lifetime. I mean, any girl in South Africa or any woman in South Africa can tell you that in their lifetime, they have experienced a sexual or rather a physical violence that has happened. And also, there is 12 and 28% of girls in South Africa that are not reporting rape, and others that are reporting rape. But the number of those that are reporting rape, that are reporting rape is lesser than of those that are reporting rape. Drivers of gender-based violence in South Africa include gender power inequality that is rooted by patriarchy, and in societies and cultures where males or rather boys are superior than girls. This is a driver of gender-based violence. Another driver of gender-based violence include the lack of girl child encouragement, and as well as the lack of social value and social power. And moving on, impact of gender-based violence have regarded in a lot of girls in South Africa having HIV and being reproductive unhealthiness, and as well as mental health, and as well as different psychological traumas as well. Gender-based violence during COVID-19 has been increasing, and cases have been increasing in each and every day, in such a case that victims have been trapped with their abusers, and they have been left with no point of escape. So I recommend that there must be encouragement provided to the girl child so that they know that they are worthy, and even during the abuse and during everything that the violence that is going on, they can be able to speak out and to be able to voice out what is going on. And also, violence must be discussed in schools as early as primary schools, whereby people are violated and and girls do really get into violent cases, and they do not know, some of them, that this is violence, so they decide not to report. Also, girls must be allowed to speak out, and they must be allowed to voice out their opinions about how they feel and how they feel about certain things. And moving on, girls must be allowed to be agents of change, so that those that have been violated, or rather they have found themselves in violence, can be able to teach others about how is it to heal and everything. And also, during gender-based violence, the rape culture must be challenged as well in different traditions, and as well as in different cultures. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Puseleto, for that presentation. Basically, again, to the statistics that you actually read out are very gruesome in terms of gender-based violence, not just in Africa alone, but particularly in South Africa. And again, to reiterate a bit of what Blessing said about how government should make schools more affordable, and they should ensure that schools are in rural areas so that at least the children and the girls in the rural areas can attend these schools. That takes me to Gloria from Mozambique, who will be speaking on the impact of COVID-19 on girls, the increasing cases of gender-based violence. Gloria, over to you.
Boa tarde, companheiras e companheiros. Eu chamo-me Gloria Machel, faço parte da Associação Sociocultural Horizonte Azul e tenho 17 anos de idade.
I'm 17 years
Eu
old.
quero falar pouco
I
sobre
would
o
like to
impacto
talk about the
do
impact
COVID-19 na vida das
COVID-19
raparigas e mulheres jovens aqui em Moçambique. Vou
girls
começar
in
falando
Mozambique.
sobre o setor da
First of all,
educação, que foi o
I
setor
would
que
like
foi
to talk about
mais
the
afetado.
education.
Isso porque a educação para a
Girls
rapariga aqui em
are
Moçambique
affected because
sempre
the
foi
education
olhado como uma espécie de
was
favor.
for
Porque a
boys,
educação que é mais
as others said,
priorizada é a educação
because the boys
do
are
menino.
prioritized.
Então, numa primeira fase,
Therefore,
nas escolas,
first of
as
all, in the
raparigas sempre
schools,
têm sofrido
always
violência, seja ela
see
sexual, assim
different
como
cases of
psicológica.
violence
E dos nossos
and
maiores
psychological
desafios é a questão
problems.
da
Those
denúncia.
are challenges
Porque a
for
rapariga,
girls
quando vai
because
denunciar, seja
the
no
girl
diretor, o diretor sempre tenta
can be
perguntar cadê as
abused by the
provas.
director,
Então, vou
by
chamar
the
o professor
teacher,
para confirmar.
and
Como é que
therefore
essa
there's no
rapariga irá se
possibility to
libertar se
prove
quando ela vai
that because
denunciar,
she's
dizem
afraid
para ela
of that.
voltar a chamar o
And therefore,
agressor para que
that
possa
is
confirmar
the
o
problem
ato.
for
Então,
teachers or
estamos
directors
cientes que
who
esse professor nunca
abuse
irá dizer que
the
eu violei
girls,
a ela.
and
E
therefore
como
they are
método
afraid
de
to report
superação disto,
the cases.
eu como uma
Then we
rapariga da
need
Associação
to see how to
Sociocultural Horizonte Azul
overcome those
empoderada,
problems, and
sempre
the girls should
procurei
be
transmitir conhecimento aos
empowered,
meus colegas, em que
and
alguns
we
que
need
isso
to
teve
also to pass
alguns
that information
fatores,
to
teve
other
algumas consequências
colleagues,
positivas, assim
so
como
that we can
consequências
make
negativas.
a
As positivas
positive
foram que
impact, because there are
nesse
some
período,
negative
a
impacts.
escola
In
teve
this
muitos
period,
casos de violência,
in
as taxas de
school,
violência foram muito baixas, os professores estavam mais
the
comportados.
violence,
E o
the
negativo foi
GBV has been
que, sabendo
reduced
que eu era a mandante, quem
because
empoderava as raparigas a seguir em
some
frente,
girls
eu
are
sofria ameaças por parte
empowered,
de professores.
and
Tanto que quando
because
entravam na
some
sala
girls
de aula,
have been
sempre
maybe threatened by
soltavam
the
algumas
teachers,
vozes que não eram
but
nada
we need
agradáveis de
to
ouvir.
empower
Eu,
and
por
to
exemplo,
give
uma das palavras
the
que eu
voice
ouvi
to
foi
the
o
girls
peixe
so
que
that they
morre
can
pela boca.
report
O que isso
those
queria, como é que eu me
cases.
posiciono
Now,
diante disso,
how can
vindo de uma
we
professora ou de um professor? Outras palavras que eu
be in a
ouvi
position
foi
to report a
alguém
case
que
maybe
falou
of
tanto que
violence
chumbou durante uns 3 anos.
perpetrated by the
Então, isso em
teacher,
algum
for
momento
example.
chega a intimidar, chega um
Now,
momento que eu
because sometimes
tive
the girls are
vontade de desistir do
intimidated
ativismo.
so
Mas
that they cannot
não foi mais
report
por
any
querer, mas
case.
por causa das ameaças
Now,
e dos desafios que eu encontrava
those
no
are the
caminho
challenges that
para
we
seguir
are
em frente,
facing,
empoderando outras raparigas.
but we need to be
E
empowered
nesse
so that you
momento
can
do
inform other
Covid-19,
girls. In
foram
this
vários
period of
desafios
COVID-19,
enfrentados, muito
there's a
mais na
lot of
comunidade, porque houveram vários
challenges in the
registros de casos de
communities
violência sexual
because there
e o
are a
que é
lot
pior
of
aqui foram
sexual
maioritariamente
violence
por parte de polícias. Então, se é o
because
próprio polícia que devia nos
there
defender,
are, for example,
é
the
ele que em
police people
contrapartida nos ataca,
who
a quem
rape,
nós iremos
who
recorrer.
perpetrate violence
Eu
against
confesso
girls.
que, em particular, se eu
I
for a me
confess
encontrar
that
com um polícia
particularly
na rua,
I
o meu
met a
primeiro ato
policeman,
será
and if I meet, for
será
example, a
de
policeman,
fugir ou sair do caminho
my
desse
first
polícia, porque a
reaction
imagem
would
de
be
polícia
maybe
que eu
to
tenho na minha
fly,
mente é que o polícia é um
to
violador.
run
É
away,
um grupo de polícia
because
que
the
acaba
police
dividindo a
normally
imagem de todos
they are
eles.
perpetrators
Sem
of
contar
violence.
que há uma inoperância da
Now,
justiça por conta disso, porque quando tu vais
so we
meter
also
uma
need to
denúncia,
assess
os
justice
polícias tendem a se
so that we can be
acobertar.
empowered on how
Ninguém
we
quer
can
entregar o colega. Então,
report
isso
cases.
acaba sendo muito
Therefore,
chato. É por isso que a
we
nossa
should
justiça aqui em
be
Moçambique tem sido muito paralítica.
outspoken and
E como resposta a isso,
empowered.
nós,
As a
raparigas da
response
Associação
to that,
Sociocultural Horizonte Azul,
we
decidimos criar um movimento
girls,
denominado Raparigas
we have
Revolucionária ELAT, que ELAT
created
significa
a movement
empoderamento, liberdade, arte
which
e
aims
tecnologia.
at
Esse
empowering
movimento
other
surge com a
girls in terms of
necessidade de
technology. That movement
permitir
is
com que a
very
rapariga possa
necessary,
gozar na plenitude dos
and
seus
it will
direitos,
empower
assim
girls so that
como
they can
temos
know
visto na
their
sociedade que
rights.
ela tem sido
And
alvo
as
de
we saw in the
diversas
society,
atrocidades vistas
there are
vivenciadas
a
na
lot of
comunidade, mas que em
atrocities
algum momento
against
esses mesmos
girls.
problemas
But this is the moment in which we should come up with the solutions
Sim.
and overcome those problems of violence. I lost a voice.
Conclude.
I think our connection is
Mas
bad
que
now.
em algum momento
But now,
esses
in this
mesmos
moment,
atos são silenciados. É como
because
se
some
não
girls have been
estivessem a ver aquilo que
silenced, they cannot
acontece
speak
contra a
out.
rapariga. Então,
Now,
esse movimento tem como sua
this
missão
movement
repudiar
has the
e
mission
reivindicar
to
todo tipo de
revindicate
violência praticada
all types
contra
of
a mulher
violence
e rapariga
perpetrated
jovem,
against
assim como também
women and
consciencializar a
girls.
sociedade
And also we need to
dos
sensitize the
males
society
e dos problemas
about
tóxicos que
the
tem
evils
praticado contra
in
a
the
rapariga.
society
E
against the
temos como nosso
girls.
maior
We
objetivo
have an
garantir que
objective
tenhamos
to
raparigas
ensure that girls
empoderadas.
can be
Graca,
empowered.
I'm sorry, I would have to, because you've used about 7 minutes. Sorry that I have to cut you short. It's because I want to also give other people the opportunity to speak. So thank you so much for that. Gloria from Mozambique. And that takes me to our next speaker, Esther from Zambia, who would be speaking on access to sexual, reproductive, and health rights. Esther, over to you. Esther, can you unmute your microphone? I can't seem to hear you.